Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining a special edition of Earground. As the conversation unfolds, I think this is going to be the most exciting and the most anticipated interview, which is going to have a very special guest, the man behind the name Zim Dancehall. We managed to get through to him. It's been a struggle, but thanks a lot to Lion for the hookup. I managed to get through to the guy behind the name Zim Dancehall, and he's going to be joining us in the next 2 minutes, What's up? Greetings.
Did you say?
Little boys, really say thanks a lot for taking your time. I know it's very short notice. It was a struggle to get through to you, but I'm happy that we're in touch.
No worries, man. Totally thanks for Muriga for doing the link. And big up Lion. Yes.
Lion, yeah, large job.
Who've been linking me. I know there's so many people who've been linking me as well. So big up to all. I can't finish, the list. It's endless. Yeah, but thank you very much for, taking time to actually, set things straight and correct or educate, people about the whole history.
Yeah.
Like I was born and bred Mbare, right? So we have nothing against Vantan, because I'm actually happy he's actually putting, my ghetto up there, because for anybody who grew up in Mbare knows what it was only like the negative side which was being shown. Saka, first and foremost, I'll just say, like, big up to the youth. He's doing his thing. And then I was born in Mbare, and I got Namsanga, right? And I was surrounded by sound systems. On the other side, Kwaguna Silverstone, Namad Minox, Muna second. Muna third, Kwaguna Hilary, Smiley, Angarwe, Silverstone as well. And behind that, Muna Mamuka, we had people like Anna Etherton, the Stereo One, Magnum Force, Kote, and a Sweet Ebony, and it, and a Fargo. Then, Toto Gunana Sanyanga, Kweshka, Clifton, Bugatti. It was Stereo One is only Magnum Force. Saka, everywhere, I was surrounded by sound. So I think the influence just came about because when we were growing up, all we could hear was like, music, dance or music, So Pataga, like Bangari Loco, by just Sumukira, like Silverstone, Anna Bernard and all that. I think the inspiration just kicked in. Then came the time, but that time we were not really into moving into the sound business. I was more into the football side, right? But I was listening to sound, because the guy who was living next door to us, I would name my cassettes. I mean, if I record say my dance, this was way too young to go my dance. Right on my dance, could you my sound teens go like my recording, kuna culture tea and dads and ni bachimba for my rhythms, but my dance. It was inspiring to go na kids go Mazimba can actually do this. From then on, because Degaram Namsanga Saka just behind us, Pampana culture tea. I got on my
Tendai Gamuri.
Yeah. Culture tea. His girlfriend that time, Angarisha Marian, my niece. So everything, every single Pagatanga Regodama, and that sound, sounds is playing that song, Weza.
Yes.
Yeah. Compraching sing a tune, Nerudo, Mapumo sing a tune, Mugarandega, Tuku sing a tune, aha. Saka all those, I don't answer. Saka I could sing each and every song in culture tea. Because in the every single year, Buddha kind of album, right, Buddha. I used to have that because of my Link Yani song.
And which years were these? Angar Makorapi.
That was like back in the, I think it was late 80s, I think. Because I tried to score Mazaya. Then Paga blow up back with that transit, tour and everything. It's also title sparkle. Because I remember my first days back on Bonoritz about Stodat all.
Yeah.
But my Zwayo, I don't know, people were calling him Papa T. I don't know, Papa, or maybe they were confused. Papa T, it's about Pastor that.
Yeah.
One, teacher Naki one is also, but we couldn't get in. But until my youths. Sometimes that time it was hard to get my recording studios. And Linka and Trevor Hall.
Ras Jablan, yes.
Yeah, Kwarare Gardens. Ras Jablan Vatichi, come to my studio, waterfalls, but in that studio, waterfalls. So at that time, the Imbanim Pesa in the Bobo Marcos. Agazu Tanga in the Three Wise Men. So Bobo Marcos, we were like, Pesa Pada in the stage, the Imbatiri tour. But I joined that group Ray Crucial Mix. We had people like Daddy Ray, Agunzi Badabada, he's in South Africa. Then we had Ijasan, Agunzi Jobless.
Yeah, man.
The entertainer.
Yes.
He was there as well. Kozoti, other people like Rasmus Sousa, then people like Junior Banton, Vango, Bombo featured. Then people like Major E, Bukati, Rasi, but we have my special occasions like my Bob Marley commemorations to Harare Gardens. Right, we are. So all this time things were happening, right? This was not called Zim Dancehall. It's also we used to call it Dancehall. If you ask any artist, Sakatanga, right in the 90s, I don't know what was the Zim Dancehall. We used to call it
Dancehall.
2000 to 2001, Paka Tangachi, Eben Grooves. You see, Eben Grooves, Pekatanga, I think it was before Yatanga Eben Grooves. Panem Pesa is the Weshami Soye, and the Gilbert, we met up with them because Pane, that restaurant, Caribbean restaurant, Yangafuru, Pakariga Mombe Center. Before, because Trevor was well known, I can invite. Then he invited the rest of the band for opening a restaurant that. But that man, like Gilbert, I got to do out into the project and look it out in my youths. It's called Shamiso. Look out for it. Then after that, Pakabuda project, everything went exploded, I did it. Airplay, but Dancehall, Zim Dancehall, and guys said, on. Dancehall. And my artist, I can wonder about Dancehall. I take a Kwana pa project here, Eben Groves. Angas Gada is going to Dancehall, and goes to Eben Groves.
Eben Groves, yeah.
And the effect of Eben Groves, I cover my genres at a wonder from hip hop, Yeku Zimbabwe, R&B, Yeku Zimbabwe, Dancehall, Yeku Zimbabwe, Reggae, Yeku Zimbabwe, Kwaito, Yeku Zimbabwe. You see?
Yeah.
Saka is just an umbrella name, a Shandi Skofoji, music, Yineka Eben influence, Yemu Zimbabwe. You see? There was nothing like Zim Dancehall. It was Dancehall. You get it? In any manch, because I was a DJ as well, Pandaka Uda Zim in 2001. Ndandine Zungure Regutichi, Machune Daga Benga. Banashika Banasko Gara Uvampton kwa Salama Jama. Banashika Banatanga when they sachi, my record, my radio stations, my CDs I. And the best man I in this saga. Baharamba. This is not Dancehall. This is not Dancehall. Papa Ines and I in my dreams I am. Then now my radio stations. This is not Dancehall. One. Sunday Shams got going down out there. This is African Dancehall because Myato Wongoro Africa is just one country. You get it?
Yes.
So from that point now I just thought, why is it Saka music get you so but why is it she? I school push kwa. But because I didn't know anything about Gadrama website.
Yes.
But actually again the Tange website young. But dancing as you no Gadra say. But I think when I check my library and she wearing my book has the internet for dummies. She did about my code and everything. So it took me about 5 to 6 months. That is in 2005, I think. Right? Chironga. But I think when you want a website name, you need to say, you can see, if you want a website name, you find out advertiser on your website. Yes. I was advertising dancehall from Zimbabwe. Then I decided, okay, it has to be Zimbabwean dancehall. But because Zimbabwean dancehall, it's very long. Kana munhu akutaipa Zimbabwean dancehall, you can't do that. But I cut a Zimbabwean dancehall to Zim Dancehall. That's where I came up with the web zimdancehall.com. Right? You wanted to ask something?
No, you just answered there. I was saying this is the genesis of Zim Dancehall. Which year was that? 2005.
That's 2005 towards the end. Saka, it kicked off in 2006. You get it?
Yes.
2006, when I launched a website, Zim Dancehall, Trevor Wall was just here because before that launcher, I spoke to a few artists. They got the guys in Dudakurunga website. Then I spoke to Trevor Wall. Trevor Wall found that my youth, Ugaita's name Soro, it can work. But you have to be committed. So I just took his word because like he's my elder and didn't. But I told her advice at Trevor Wall, then I pushed it. Then when it went live, Mad Minox, he big that around. And but I have to correct him on something or remind him on something. When my website went live, zimdancehall.com, right? One of the first people I got a guest book who signed up was Mad Minox. And that actually gave me that push as well. Big data to recognize actually my works. I don't know if he remembers that, but he was one of the first people I got signed up by guest book at zimdancehall.com. You get it? Tabe papo, but I don't go Spark ban we saw to go link up. Jusa, I didn't know Jusa, but he was living close to me. And I'm going to link all here then our project here, Rejuvenation, his album. I'm going to what you're doing is good. They push your old stuff. Pandi pa stuff again. But I don't you produce, but I'm going to put more stuff again. But I don't think communicate. And that time we didn't have Facebook, I think. Right? So we used to communicate by the MSN. Like it was a messenger sort of platform. Saka npopata linka as artist. Saka kuno kumanje because problem yanga iripondekti ku Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe was going through a rough patch economically and broadband. I some dial up for internet. Saka my artist couldn't even upload music.
Anything.
You see. And in Zimbabwe, there was no radio station which was playing Zim Dancehall.
Yes.
If you're lucky to get played by Zimbabwe radio, you go up in a project here, Eben Groves, Sana Sniper. You get it? We get the number pinned up by we project here, Eben Groves. We get was straight up dance wachitanga. Devotee pa album ready. You know Devotee?
Yes.
Yes. That album, we even promoted it by zimdancehall.com. It was a popular project, Yawiki. You get it? Saka, he was dancehall throughout. And then we started exchanging my rhythms, my producers. There was one guy, Angarku, India that time, studying.
Were rhythms being made at this time or people were simply getting a beat done for their song?
No, rhythms were being made. My rhythms are before even 2001, but I'm not getting popular. You see, compilation albums, I maybe 2000, because in India, I compilation album, there was Zimbabwe, dancehall. You got to Intersound, this colored guy in the Bronx.
Oh, okay, Bronx. Okay.
If you know
yes.
You see, that album, I mean, not in that party, it's various artists with dancehall. Dance with shit, but on different rhythms. You get it?
Yes.
We couldn't get it, but it's like funny rhythm, rhythm.
Yeah, I remember. I think one song from that rhythm. Yes, Ango Jaunda. Yes. Yes, I remember it.
Yeah, that was done a long time ago.
Yeah.
And now my rhythm is Saka from then on, Bakwaita radio station in the Zim Splash Radio. yanga internet radio yanga ameno based kundofunga kuno ku UK baya batana na DJ Tina we Ice Spy
yes
anga ku India because Ice Spy anga there are two rhythm one rhymes the style I think pardon me style nirmo rhymes the Dragon Neck saka Ice Spy valinka ni radio station here bam batira kuita ku pusha that pavandi link as kanzi tuda utu promote ro kana pane ma artist opinda but apusha chino anditika wapinda ma artist akasiyana Winky diakapinda ne two ma songs pa Dragon Neck kana uchiza song inonzi Chibaro vano bata Chibaro vachichiva maka oigera akapinda ipapo kozoti that rhythm was big angari hardcore dancehall chaya and
yes
Butterfly Zim Dancehall ku fly yanga to Zim Dancehall because papa nonzi vanhu vangasingashanyise zita rekuti Zim Dancehall kunyepa kwese kweyo because ukadotasa munhu wese anoziva website ye website yanga ine homepage yoti yainzi video corner panga pane mavideos ese ekuZimbabwe not only a dancehall even groups and chichi anditika kozoti painzi dancehall news pazim dancehall news every news yaitaurwa kuti Zim Dancehall unzwa Zim Dancehall this Zim Dancehall artist this Zim Dancehall rhythm this unzwa because we didn't have a radio a radio station I play music I took it upon myself with since I'm a DJ let me start a radio station if our website I didn't but I link on them pesa inzi Cash Money DJ Cash Money Munyaradzi Chirapa the radio station yaitanga pandi pa slot pam anditi but atanga kuita show yainzi the Zim Dancehall show that was the first show yakatanga for over 2 hours non-stop
which year was this?
I think that was in 2007 one but atanga kurova and from then on that's when the music started getting more popular because Banaka Wanda they would wait every Saturday night. Could have go to Zinyuan because band very release some music with Zimbabwe. But in music, Batika, kind of a read. There was a guy, Heinz Mad Fisher. He was our man on the ground. Mad Fisher from Bari. Mad Fisher, time linker. Tompo Ochi Masens with the Amanya kuma artist. And this one guy, I can push as in Zimbabwe. Mad Fisher. Because he used to go to each and every artist. Actually, collector my songs, my new songs, my rhythms, and all that information. I can pass. Because the team Kunoku, we had people like Jusa, Thai International. Yeah, Jusa, Thai International. You see, all those guys, Vanguard, close, and we were working hand in hand. We were discussing from my messenger from my social networks. Kota na Melvin C, and I Doobie Bands, and I Snacker Dread. You see, that was one family, yes, and it yes. Another thing in Sanda Kanganwa. You see, the Zim Dancehall logo. Kamno na popular Gango Shans when the moon is a Zim Dancehall logo.
Yes.
That was created by Begotten Son, Kudam Sasi Oil.
Wow, Kudam Sasi Oil.
Yeah.
That's
He's the one who created that logo. Well, it's just conductor total really, you get it? Because we just want to get the facts right.
Yes.
And because Kudam Sasi, what the deal was in any you signed up Rasiai. Because I'm gonna record label. I signed up Rasiai, but I know to Rasiai up in the Zim Dancehall industry as the product Yagechi, it's popular. Then Kudam Sasi said like, okay, I can do your website for free. Redo it. And did it. Yeah. All you have to do is like, get it offline for 5 days. And did it. 5 days later offline. It was the countdown to get us a big clock per website countdown. To the release of the new website plus Rasiai's album. Papanana song ya Rasia step over them. Or you get it. I see the enemies that I jump over them.
I remember it.
Or you get it. That time, second Popaga that website, that logo, yeah, Zim Dancehall. You get it? Saka, I'm thinking, what else? give me a question, Timbo Funga, because the Nyaza Chakarebes.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot actually for bringing that to light. So what is your response to a suggestion that Zim Dancehall started in 2013? And I don't know if you would want to respond to what Fantan had said with regard to Zim Dancehall having started in 2013 and having started at Q Sport.
Mainly, I think information, you know what's information just because pamwe vanhu vari area yauriga vari kungokupa that information. Saka hauna access yekuita research. Saka inini I actually applaud you Plot for doing your research. And did it. Once God finding you did your research. And you came to the bottom of it and did it. Makuta research momo, mukolinka na lion, mukolinka chichichi. You go to the ana juicer, you go to the bottom with Pampan is this other guy and Angani Roya player.
Yes.
Right? It's not like it Turambiri or whatever, but Kanataku one disachokwadi. Like regarding our history. We are killing the industry. You see, because there is no house in Ovakwa is no foundation. You have to have a foundation. If you go to Jamaica, Chaiko, one who's the reggae, the term reggae was started when Toots Hibbert and the Matos sang a song, reggae. But who gets the credit to put reggae? Toots Hibbert never said this is called reggae, but he just sang a song to the reggae. You get it? Pakuti to the reggae, but this is reggae music. And everybody would see that. With hip hop, unozoti anakuhek nanani.
Anakuhek, yeah, true.
True. They took the sound system general influence yoku Jamaica. Watanga kuita. Wow, create a hip hop. Up to now, hip hop is a bigger brand than reggae. But still, hip hop came from reggae music. You see, so I think probably one confuse the fact. Yakuti Zim Dancehall, one of them Zim Dancehall, one of the Takurasa the 90s. You know, I'm a 90s DJ. The other 90s. So I think I said that we always look at generation past generation. But as a website it had history of that. Yeah, kwankuna Alan Ranks, kwankuna Dads, kwankuna Major E, kwankuna Bukati. And before that, kunema artist ana Oliver Mtuguzi, ana Mukanya, ana Solomon Skuza, ana John Chubadura. All those artists vakaimba reggae. Do you know that? When my songs are vakaimba reggae. One. Kuzuti ana Blazu yaimba Mamoyo lean on me.
Yes.
Influence reggae Zimbabwe is too much. So tipane vamwana vatingakwase kutombotaura but vaka play a role. There were guys like Black Roots or Ana Sanchez.
Yes. Ana Sanchez Kufio, yeah.
Yeah. The history is so much, but apana munarkuita I could document this whole thing.
So the just to clarify, I'm actually picking some of the comments there. There's one that says Fanta did not say he started Zim Dancehall, he created the term Zim Dancehall. He said he labeled the genre Zim Dancehall. They labeled the genre Zim Dancehall in 2013.
Saka Apapa can actually label the term Zim Dancehall in 2013. Zugurati, before that, there was no term Zim Dancehall. If I may correct. Because if you look at it...
Like to say the genre was not referred by the term Zim Dancehall. Like reggae was there, dancehall was there, but for the genre to be regarded as Zim Dancehall, to be called a Zim Dancehall, that was around 2012, 2013.
No. Because what happened is the reason I decided to start that website was to create an identity.
Specifically for this music genre?
Especially, yeah, because what happened, when I came over here, I realized the importance of identity. One. It's also we didn't realize the importance of identity. But the moment you go into a different country, identity yakakosha. One. Pakatanga, that website, I told you, most people write Shona kuimba ne Shona. You get it? It's also that website is the one which actually influenced people to sing more about Shona, because what was happening is I upload my songs, Akasiana, English and Shona. The ones which were getting more popular were the Shona songs. Some artists, they started seeing that as well. But oh, the guy about that song, because type of artist feedback. Your song yakapenga irgunesa kuno. This is what we're doing. Continue like that. Focal point between my artist, nation, and my fans. Saka information to my fans. Aga nakirwa ni song yakat. Ukabunda sniper no kuzo. But song yake I don't think I'm bunya koi bigger state against the asisi bo, asisi right. You get it?
Babu arukuru ramsaga.
You get it? Because those mtatai pusha hizo. One. Saka temple to Zim Dancehall. You need that to your website. Because we wanted to create an identity. From urban grooves to is dancehall from Zimbabwe, which is Zim Dancehall. Because urban grooves is just an umbrella term used to cover different kinds of genres, right? Like a reason we say Zim Dancehall, it's to identify ourselves as a different genre. Because even Mama Jamaiti is at Eva. This is not dancehall. So even Mama Jamaiti, this is not dancehall. It's Totichi. You get it? That's why we came with the term Zim Dancehall. So we started pushing a Zim Dancehall. As we started pushing a Zim Dancehall, the term Zim Dancehall, even my Jama Anga much. You get it? Anga to our website because our site was hitting so much traffic. The only two Zimbabwean websites I need some that time was Zim Vibes, Losa, and Zim Dancehall. Losa Yake, it was more of urban grooves. Zim Dancehall, Younger, it was more of dancehall. You see, Saka, even my Jama, they even sending me stuff now to promote that thing. When Biniman went to Zimbabwe, the first time he went to Zimbabwe, his tour manager linked up that website. I got to go to Zimbabwe to push all this and that, and we'll give you access. That's why we had those first photos. I've been in I just Chicago, Zimbabwe, because his manager was sending me Biniman Ari swimming pool and all that. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
I put them. I'll send you and talk to me.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
We had that because they knew the impact we had. Because my artists, right now, Tanga could link my Zimbabwean Zim Dancehall artists. We had a big project. I got one Alfire. Can I choose Alfire? Alfire from Mutare. He had a big song, right? The Memo. Modiwa wangu.
Dino Kuda. Yeah, I remember it.
Remember that guy? He had a rhythm called the Snakebite rhythm. That was the first rhythm Rakalinka, Zimbabwe and Jamaican artist on one project. I've got that project. It was the full project. You talked to me that. I did about 20 something my songs. Pampana Omar read, young brother or junior read. He had a very good song about my songs. Seems like I think but we don't get this out. But it's really important. Because my shows, we've got plenty of shows. You can Google Zim Dancehall pa Google. You can come up if you just say Zim Dancehall, Slaggy Yut, Daddy Slaggy. You see my shows and later. Because I did a lot of Zim Dancehall shows. Teaching introduce my songs. That day, Winky Deep crown one king of the dancehall of Aral Gardens. Yamama Red Rose.
Yes.
The moment he recorded that song, I should go back from studio. Winky D send me that song 1-1. I chongo Bram studio. I chongo to Bram studios and to me that song. Straight up, she kind of a website vanu vaga penga nayo. Like, it's like it's really online. Because the one of the first interviews and I get on Winky D, I think it was 2009. It's up there as well. We got us a radio station in the Zim Dancehall Radio. And it actually says Zim Dancehall Radio. Then we got to the point as well, Big Blast Uncle Mad Minox. Ndagakuita interview pa Zim Dancehall Radio, remember? Iripo Futipa. On the same radio, because I had Mad Minox actually Tim Zim Dancehall Wangasangari is here, but pa radio station hiyo yakatonzi Zim Dancehall radio ndikatoa link authority Canada. You get it?
Yeah.
Saka zvinhu zvekuti zvese zviripo izvozvo. You get it? We've got evidence. You can up on YouTube. I was one of the first Zimbabwean guys with a YouTube channel. I did it. Ichingotanga kubuda YouTube vibe. Banda isa channel. No. But I upload my songs because they signed to me my videos and they upload na roki besa na chitsokana. They upload. Okachasa channel yaganzi Zim Dancehall 1209. That's my channel here. I did it. Kodi muyaganzi Malvision product. That's my other channel foot. Ndo ma pate upload azvini. One. Saka Zim Dancehall akusukuti yakatanga manje. It's a long journey. But I think man no confuse kapakuti Zim Dancehall vanofunga kuti zvikwenzi kuimba dancehall mu Zimbabwe kwakatanga rini. You get it?
Yeah, I get you.
Popani confusion about because vanhu vari kubatanidza kuimba dancehall ne kushandisa zita rekuti Zim Dancehall.
Yes.
One. And the parakatanga kupusha with the Zim Dancehall, we were getting like because I would link up with Vanangarumba. I think Uganya so Garapasne Vanageta Sana Godfather Templeman. That's a day.
Yeah.
They'll tell you because I worked with them personally, Dilane that Templeman Dilana I can do something Pano and Dina Yan's Gaspy warrior. He's going to be big. I can do that. First singles collection, yeah, Gaspy Warrior. Take a push up from then, Gaspy Warrior get a blow up question. You get it? Got it, that's a D, Mazvai, Dialane, media right. And the media right, I tell my video and take it to it, say, you get it?
Yes.
Say, Papa, Kotana, sit fresh.
Yeah, sit fresh. Yeah.
They play the role. The top shutter records here. Second actor vanoka play a role pusha Zim Dancehall vanogeta sana seed fresh ana T-man koti kunoku kwankuna na Jusa koti ana Malvin C and did it in terms of production koti ana Bone Slag and did it koti ndevapewa mwandi T-man koti ainzi Kutso,
yes.
He played a role Gunweed and did it. I Spy, DJ Tina, got the Terminator. Terminator,
yeah, Terminator, yes.
The producer as well. I produce Terminator Shanana I Spy. You see, because my radio stations are Pakatanga and as ZFM up and did it.
Yes.
I think that's when, but before that, we didn't have any radio stations. Saka we had individual DJs, man. Like we had people like DJ Spinalong. He was based in Canada. I think he's back in Zimbabwe. I didn't. Later on, because we are Anna Gary B, Nana DJ Styra.
Yes.
My mixtapes. You see, but all that.
So my mixtapes, they played a very big role.
Big role. And before that, Inina was doing mixtapes. Ugatasa ain't my chap Vondoka mixtapes. Those were my mixtapes. You get it? But I put some brand new my songs, I Buddha. So I can go I say about no downloader. Because that was the only radio station we were dealing with. It's also this whole thing. This was a well calculated move. Because in Inam somebody understand the history in terms of arts. In Inini studied the history of hip hop and the history of dancehall. To an extent, I even studied the history of Sungura music as well. And those are Saka personal outside influence. Apanachi Chumuko. Whereas Sungura kuti Sumuke, Ban Bogatanga kwenda ku Tanzania bebe. You get it?
Yes.
I'm gonna get that influence East African. But we have Warwachi Sungura Zao. And Wabata.
Yes.
Same thing in Majamapaga, who you pinda kwa America, Papusho, hip hop for Buddha. You see, same thing in the Susu Mazimba, Pataka Buddha Kubago Zimbabwe, Tichuya abroad, Takatanga Gona importance your music here do. No one. Taka importance you Takatanga could create something that I want at Chiziza. And Mukuziza meme, Papano, Warkutero, Mashugo, Washuno, my blase Darwin, I'm telling you, name sorrow. In any Panatora Nevapana, Wanda go Zimbabwe, because the concert combat a medley. In a artist I can wonder.
Yes.
Pagoyam Pesa in the Mr. Zayn full 100. but the guys in the Deutsche made the beat right to surround Konzeresa rhythm. Konzeresa rhythm was the first commercially marketed various artists rhythm.
Yes.
Konzeresa. Ndore garakatanga kuto pinda unana iTunes kunana kwese because it was well marketed and tikatora and Konzeresa kuti rivepo it came up pane song ya King Labash and Konzeresa here.
Yes.
We started making a rhythm from Sorope that song. But I like it one hour. Then he made it a rhythm. Then we started getting my artists, King Labash and Mad Fisher, because Mad Fisher and the Anga Maya Achi Manisa artists are voice. Too bad that now so young one artists like a wonder from Zim, but the majority were all over the world.
And Smiley, because I remember, like, I think it would be difficult to actually tell the whole story, like from the Zimbabwean perspective, without mentioning Smiley and JMP, Jipe. Smiley, I think, if I remember, he had the first program that was dedicated to Zim Dancehall and used frequently. I don't know whether he was using an intro or he was using his own Zim Dancehall to the world. And there were mixtapes that were coming in with that line, Zim Dancehall to the world. And I remember from that line, it started to stick onto people's heads, Zim Dancehall to the world. Maybe you could just comment on that.
Right. Smiley, Angari Kunoku UK, when we had that website running. So Smiley, because he was an artist, and I told promoter some of his music. I got a lot of music. Just Smiley, I'm saying Marum Bones, hard drive round. You get it?
Yeah.
Smiley, I got pinned up Beatrine's Magnificent Rhythm. What is that? Jamaica.
Yes, Magnificent. Yes, I know Magnificent.
I pinned up about Smiley. I got any tune I got pinned up. I got pinned on Nylinda, Seuchidaro. You see that Mr. Vega song by Roba Otwa? Okay, Saka Smiley was here before. And did that. Saka it was movement, yes, so and everything. I even had a chat with him after I ended with him that he Dukaso Kurongerashi, or it a big show, Chishika with him and all that, but I wasn't open Sango. Next thing that was going to Achi to see him. Saka I think Nekuona Kwaita movement, Famba Kuno. Agashika with Zimbabwe for Onachi, Akuna that.
Yes.
You see?
Yeah.
Then he took it upon himself, Vapusho in the cheap radio, which is good. Because I got Vapusho, my levels, my Angasada Pusho cheap radio station for Zimbabwe. Same format, my radio shows and language open. Because in there are 2 hours non-stop and the with Zim Dancehall. And the one is not kind of because if you listen to my shows, I'm good at the way Chris Goldfinger endorses Dancehall is the way that is like that is the Slaggy Yut, that the way Slaggy Yut endorses Zim Dancehall songs. And the songs I'm playing, they're exclusive. And then I believe they're exclusive because the artist knew if they send me a song, it's exclusive. I'll push it as exclusive, for sure. Also. So I find pakatanga bifra mad gomu na Labash.
Yes.
You see, unozapana msand kadefi.
Yeah, I remember.
That beefy van waka manya because there was doti manzwa uyu mad komapinda. King Labash atontingo is bringing an answer next week. So I can make sure you tune in next week because I say answer King Labash. So I can that. You see, so Papanika buzz kekuti. A good thing about it is that website, it brought people together. One. Patakachuka kuno kuvanu bangwani sadaku identifier as Zimbabwean. One. Papanika mweka kungo dakungo South Africa.
I know what you mean. I've met some brothers.
But when that website started kicking, Banongo are proud to be Zimbabwean. The second one I chanted the slogan on the Zimbolicious, proud of who I am. But I think that Kumayanichi, Zim Dancehall to the world. Which meant music to the world.
Yes.
You get it? And from then on, Banvisonga who accept of But a few people were more in the media by try push but they were not effective enough. One. Chinja dai short I got my newspaper. Could you push up to okay, Zim Dancehall Yakatanga so this is Zim Dancehall. Makwanda I think by like we sure too much. It's something Chango does it, Shango Feda. You get it?
Yes.
I so from then on we thought okay, she chatting because we had a vision by this time just like I say to those who Tivan also one Tanga flyer. This is vision that Antina would to not my artists Tanga flyer from Zimbabwe, Ashuya Kuno, UK, Achenda, different places to go to Zeta my awards. That's why we started my Zim Dancehall Awards. That was in 2007, I think 2007, 2008. But the time my Zim Dancehall Award goes dance nashi corporate back in Tango with Samaria do moment. We managed to do a successful show. Yes, Zim Dancehall Awards. The first song I think Yaga winner was it King Labash. Conzeres I think was the first song Yaga winner song of the year. The following year Winky D Rocation winner. From then on, then we had a link up. Yemfes Alonzi, Alex, I can't remember his name, but Ndiowe Y2K.
Yes, Alex Y2K. Yes, I know Alex.
I had the link. I got to do a big show in UK. In my young artist, because that time my artist I go and then Mukanya Nana too go and did it. But in do link and my young artist, can you help me out with the artist and guy wins a kunoko? But I'm also the artist is very hot right now. It's Winky D, Sniper, Rocky, Mafreak, and there's somebody else one that tower, but I know so Pansapuya. Then he made it happen. That was the gateway. Saka ndugu fura kaitachi kuti vapana vachitanga kuya kuno kumanje. You see, from then on, he started. The young artist started flying. You get it?
Yeah.
Saka.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Really enlightening there, and I think you have managed to really chronicle. It's interesting and really comprehensive because it touched on a lot of things, some of the things that I personally didn't know, but also interesting because I think you have been a reference point. Many people talking about you, and now that you've come out in the open for the first time, this is an exclusive on Earground, and it's actually a big honor to have you come out in the open and set the record straight. Just what's your reaction to this conversation that is started?
In terms of Zatara Nafantan, I have no bad words or whatever. You see, people say different things. It's either sometimes it's lack of knowledge of that issue, or maybe him himself, he did that to create a reaction or something. You see, because we are in showbiz, right? Showbiz and they would I'm glad he said it, right? I'm glad he said it because he said it whilst he's actually on top of his game. One, it's skills for Fantan. You see, Saka Kutora Kwaite, Kokokote, Disachi, one Bakwansequita discussion. Just imagine if he had said it, afraid or whatever, and it. Punch, but the fact that Ataura at top of this game, you see, so I don't discuss that whole thing. One, Saka Kana Butora Kwai Toko, I'm sure it will help arts industry to have documentation. You see, we've got so many things. We've got hip hop, we've got dancehall, we've got dancers and everything. Up to now, if you ask me, when Zapani dance, my clocks.
Yes.
That was Zimbabwe. You know who started it?
The actual person, I know a couple of guys that were part of the movement. I know there's Fred Muller. I know there's guys from Desert Fox. I know guys from Street Madness, Ghetto Creepers. Yeah, those were my first contact. I think a couple of like 2013. Yes, those 2012 actually. Those were my first contact. Maclax Ashtanga Kusumuka 2012. Yeah.
You see, I don't know them because I've been researching all this time trying to get with it because those youths, should be credited kunzi bakadeo. You see, write something. You get it? So I see an rhythm urkabuda, it will always have that name kuti approach is kwana ningi. You see, a song will always have that name with the approach kwana ningi. And but pani wamwana need a background, banofana kupi acknowledgement. You see, pani mungu zafani tukenda studio, ma artist anozoti song unogona kuimba song, but pani influence mwamu asinga imba. Arim kruma anogona ngotanga something, do anoku influence. But ukadota some of my CDs anokuzoti credited kunaningi. So those are not kita like in terms of arts one. Oh ningi akachangachi maclarks. Kutanga maclarks iko kwa influence all my youths akawanda kuita my dance groups. You see, ningi akachanga kushuta ma video areg. Nanditi. Akushanza ma video akuita ma drone ban boziva. Because once you get that, you get the inspiration to kuita something. One. Because kanochuna somebody mungu pamara in watch just something. Push up to try something else. So I'm glad this topic, came about. Too bad like the whole media they didn't pick up on this whole thing. They should have been doing their research and doing all this. Because today it's about Zim Dancehall and stuff. Next it will be about Zilpamberi.
Yeah, true.
You get it? Second, those who are not fanakuti isusu is like our industry. We should do these things to push it because there are so many things. Like Isusu, we don't mind giving advice. Because we have a different vision. They can push their stuff way further than Pavaruita. But we know they can go further beyond that. But it's not actually panima structures are repo. You see? There's a time I came up with an idea Twitter like a committee Zim Dancehall taught Savannah about copywriting, Savannah about kunyora music, about all that kind of thing because my workshops need to be there.
True.
But as on East Africa, they're doing my workshops. And I'm more getting it. You put out Africa, East Africa when it are my workshops. The artist MG. In East Africa. It's also why can't we do that? I think we've got much more talent by dancehall than my countries. You see? So we should be having those kind of things, my workshops, how to protect their music, how to get their music heard, how to make money through YouTube. I don't think most people you can make money wakagara. Music you're going to play up on YouTube. You get it?
True.
Because okay, I need to go yimba stage. But there's so many platforms that could take some music. You can make music for films and you can make music for adverts. And you can write a song for somebody to sing it. My channels you get it? But can I pass anyone who's guiding that? This is not been actually Mara. You get it? Like I'm actually glad you picked up on it and you made sure you got the right information before you signed. And then Fanta and I have no bad blood now. Maybe we'll sit down and discuss food because he's coming over to UK.
Okay. No, this is great, and thank you so much. I would like to give a special mention and tribute to Chamvari from Power FM. She's the one who started this conversation. I picked it up from 263 Chat, that had written an article on it, and I watched the interview. And it's actually interesting that from the conversation that Chamvari had with Fantan, now we are where we are. And and it's really great that it has created a lot of interest, a lot of conversation, and also a big up and shout out to Lion. Thank you so much for this hookup. It was gonna be difficult to actually find a way to connect to you, but you made it possible, and just to set the record straight. And thank you so much. I don't know if you have anything to say before we bounce, and I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate the contribution that you've put into this conversation, and I hope that ultimately, like what Vocal has said, he has been saying, look, Zim Dance was built by so many people, like a lot of people contributed the stories and stuff, and ultimately it is what it is because many people came together from their different sides and were adding on stuff, and ultimately today we have what we have as Zim Dancehall. And after this, we should see the music grow, the music growing beyond what it is today, because nobody wants to take Zim Dance and put it in their pocket, but to see Zim Dancehall grow. And the story of Zim Dancehall, I don't know if you agree with this, is not complete without Sport. Is not complete without other players. Sport are currently playing a very pivotal role,
very big
but
role.
the facts have to be said straight, the facts have to be corrected, and you have said the record clear. Yeah.
I would say like big shout out to all those who've been linking me up. Lion, big up. Thai International, big up. Juicer, big up. Firebantu, big up. Ike Fresh, Mayut, big up. Yes, because at least there are Mudfish are big up. There are people who know the history, you know, and instead of them keeping quiet, because I know the people who know the history and just keep quiet. So if you know the facts, it's better to correct people than to just keep quiet. And like I think it's better now we move forward, and it would be nice for us to have a database, child. Real Zim Dancehall, right? Where you can have all the music and then when you search, you know who's going to Laxpin Ragabuda 2004 and Ragabuda 2007. You see those kind of things. Those to find a database, that sort of a Wikipedia you can go search and Uganda ku Dancehall, they've got this website called Rhythm Guide. If you type a Rhythm Guide, any rhythm, you know, put it a rhythm race ripo. You could raga gadzirwa nani, raga gadzirwa mukore ripi. You see, so we should have those kind of things because makorano famba, like right now, ukapunza mwe uti Zimbo flavor raga budarini, and I confuse it. Zimbo flavor raga budarini. One.